finally cancelling Dylan Mulvaney. Finally.
Genital preferences? This is just transphobic. Moving on.
This little boy is fruitier than a farmer's market. This little boy is fruitier than a fruit basket.
If you are not black, then you do not have the right to come under my videos talking back to my people.
Hi, friends.
Okay, I'm good. All right, giddy up, y'all. It is, in fact, time to react to some woke TikToks.
Being misgendered can be an incredibly painful experience. It's your mindset the world places us in a that doesn't change.
I don't give a genital preferences? So you mean cis bodies? You prefer cis bodies? This is just transphobic. Moving on.
Or you're just ugly. Or you're just ugly. And when I say that, you know, the inside is definitely factoring in, but I would be lying to say that didn't include some other things here. I'm not kidding. If you are experiencing people that don't want to date you on the regular, right? If you are just always getting turned down, I'm so sorry that despite transitioning, you did not in fact shed that incel skin and or aura. However, if you got your look together, you might have different results. I'm giving real advice. Y'all want to burn the witch. Actually, I'm not putting that on me. I'm of the light. I'm definitely not a fucking witch. Y'all are witches and bitches. If you put in the work to improve that personality and or exterior, I do in fact think you'd have different results, and you would not be encountering people that have this preference against you, because everyone, I'm sorry, people have it so twisted when it comes to trans people. If you listen to people on the right, you would think that trans people are just the most undesirable people ever, that, you know, you're ruining yourself, you're ruining your dating perspectives if you're trans. And if you listen to people on the left, you would also think trans people are the most undesirable people ever because everyone's transphobic and everyone hates them. But if you are matching the frequency of people who hate you, which is what it takes to constantly interact with people who hate you, right? See, that's the biggest thing. I know y'all don't like when I go on some spiritual shit, but I'm going to do it, right? If you are resonating with the energy of people that have disgust, disdain, and or bigotry towards you, that means that's what you're inviting in your life. That's what you are normalizing, encountering every day. I don't encounter that ever because I don't have my frequency set to that. My frequency is set to people who love me, people who want to be around me, people who like me. And guess what comes around each and every day? Those people. So that's just a mindset thing in and of itself y'all need to get down. And second of all, it's a lot of men out here. I can't speak to how many women, but it's a lot of men out here that are into trans. I'm sorry. That is, you know, a bitter pill and or dick for y'all to swallow a lot of the times, but it's true. And a lot of these men that y'all are so sure would never be into trans women have in fact been in Blaire White's DMs. But it's not just a Blaire White thing. It's just a mediocre, attractive trans person thing. But it's these ugly dusties, and again, ugly mostly on the inside, but you feel me? Y'all are going to be having these issues, and then you, again, because you love to speak for all trans people, you have made it this like public narrative that we are constantly encountering transphobia, when in fact, if you are a decently attractive trans person, you are constantly encountering the opposite, which is fetishization, which is people going after you a little too hard. And that's, you know, a separate conversation from it. Maybe sometimes harder to find love, but these two things can't exist at once. Everybody doesn't hate trans people. Everyone doesn't fetishize trans people at the same time. There's clearly some bias in y'all's perspectives coming in here. And that puke green hair is a big part of that perspective. Change that. Only thing I want green around you is that grass you're touching soon, ASAP. Bitch.
Popeye's chicken needs to know that is not okay for their employees to be like calling trans women sir, to like intentionally like fuck with me.
So that's not real, right? It can't be. This is clearly an advertisement for reopening the mental wards. Reopen the mental wards. Surely this poltergeist and or sleep paralysis demon is not in fact walking amongst us. I mean, if so, The last time I had this level of fear of who was walking amongst us was, in fact, the Miami zombie. Remember that guy who was eating the faces in Miami? Just crazy. I have a story about that. Literally. It was 2012, right? And I was with my friend out at the park, and the news about the Miami zombie, the bath salt zombie, had hit that day, right? So everyone was genuinely, at first, before finding out the story and like, you know, the autopsies and everything happening, they really thought a zombie apocalypse was in fact happening and that people were becoming zombies. And I was like, I don't know, like 20. So I was drinking with my friend at the park. Don't ask. I was real ratchet back then, right? Again, a life y'all think I've never lived. Y'all think I'm this cushy-dushy person. No, I in fact used to drink in the park underage as well. I was with my friend, and all of a sudden a homeless person out of nowhere from behind where we're sitting on this bench snatches my friend up, pulls her to the ground, and starts assaulting my friend physically. And I had to jump in. I was wearing these, y'all remember the Jeffrey Campbell Lita shoes? I'll put a picture on the screen. They had genuine, very sharp spikes. And all I saw was my friend getting beat up by a homeless person in the park. And I took that Lita off and went to town on him with that Lita. And it worked, right? Got him off my friend. But the reason I jumped up so quick is I was like, oh no, this genuinely is a zombie apocalypse. The shit I saw on the news about the bath salt zombie was real, babe. And it's starting. It's happening. I'm getting the zombie off my girl. Anyways. There needs to be a whole segment of ratchet stories from Blaire's past. Back to this skittle diddle. Since there's no mental wards open, my verdict is jail. Yeah, jail.
Call the police. We need to call the police.
If you are not black, if your skin is not brown, if you are not melanated, then you do not have the right to come under my videos talking back to my people. Your opinions are not wanted, nor are they relevant. So why do you feel like you need to come and keep saying something to my people? You need to ask me my—
Damn. Meth is bad, crack is whack, all that shit. And the fact that y'all can fix your mouths, I don't know. How do y'all feel sometimes, like genuinely? If any of y'all in the comments come from this line of thinking that you cannot be racist if you are not white, how do you feel when you watch this? I mean, when you can just replace every word with a different race, genuinely tell me, if you could just, you know, turn the exposure up, make this bitch white on camera, would it suddenly be racism coming out of her mouth? Or is it genuinely not because of whatever bullshit rules you made up in your head? I mean, this is a deeply racist, deeply scary, deeply miserable person. Somebody needs to help this bitch out. Someone who loves this bitch. I know she seems quite unlovable, but someone, get her off TikTok. Get your mom, get your aunt, get your cousin, Judy. What's her name? Paragu. Somebody come get Paragu off this bitch. And in the meantime, Paragu, I don't know if what you need is an exorcism or somebody to put you up in a hospital and bounce those pills up out of you, but something needs to go down. And in the meantime, please don't speak. Please don't speak, because it's offensive when you speak. You retain the right to remain silent and the right to blink, because your ass didn't blink one time in that video. And it was quite off-putting. I'm a bit decentered.
So I just learned that more people regret having kids than trans people regret having surgeries. I'll let that sink in.
I bet this hits so hard if you're stupid. I bet this TikTok slaps if you're retarded. Only thing that's sunk in is that hair dye into your brain, which is in fact melting it, and it is in fact unfortunate. I would like if you let trans people find out if having kids is not for them, because what you're supporting is sterilizing trans people. You're supporting taking the ability for them to have kids away while they are still kids, and that is some Jeffrey Dahmer ass shit. Especially considering you have on those Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. Like, it's believable. It's believable that chopping people up makes sense to you, but I am so sorry to let you know that whoever told you and empowered you to come up on this app and think that you have anything remotely of value to say, they lied to you, baby. They lied to you. I also encourage you to pay a bit more attention to the fact that you have jaundice. You look like a Simpson, sis.
fix yourself and fix your face, okay?
Hi, friends.
Okay, I'm good.
Today we're going to talk about something super important, what it means to be transgender. It's a big word, but I promise that it's easy to understand. Ready to learn? The first thing I want you to do is close your eyes. Now think, do you feel like a boy, a girl, or a little bit of both?
I feel like I want to die. That's what I feel like. I am so beyond the point of like asking questions I already know the answer to. You know, my mind wants to ask, why do they always want to talk to kids? But this particular breed of human being, I think you know exactly why they want to talk to kids. And it's really, really gross. And dressing up like kids too. But by the way, just so y'all know, it's like, if you're someone who maybe like doesn't mind Dylan Mulvaney, which you have horrible taste in just like people, but if you're one of those people, this person is not doing anything different that Dylan Mulvaney does. They're talking like a kid and dressing like a little kid. It's perverted. It's wild. And bring the word crossdresser back. That's the only solution to this bullshit. Well, that's the only solution for trans people. If you want to save face at all, if you want to, think in terms of optics at all, if you want to, combat negative stereotypes and including negative people in your community, you can bring back the word crossdresser, or you can keep saying Blaire White's a Nazi. Your choice. Your choice.
Everyone is finally canceling Dylan Mulvaney. Finally. I have been trying to tell you guys about this person for the longest time, but whenever I say it, I get labeled as a certain word that I can't say on this app. Everyone is calling Dylan Mulvaney a massive hypocrite now that I know. People are finding it very suspicious that this woman right here has grown her entire account based off of promoting women's rights, saying the significance of women, how important women are for her, and of course, recognizing the struggles that women have to go through on a day-to-day basis. She's actually won, I swear, Woman of the Year for this.
Get to
However,
it, bitch.
when it comes to speaking about the women in Palestine who are having to use tent scraps because their periods are coming, or the women in Congo who are aggressively and systematically getting raped, she's quiet. She's silent. It's crickets even. People are recognizing that it's women that got this woman to this place to begin with. But how
this right here is proof that you could never be woke enough. You could never quite get there for these people. And this is why I have always been so thankful that I have an audience that is not woke. I have always been so thankful I have an audience that is not a bunch of shit libs, because those motherfuckers will turn on you like that. Like it's nothing. Like they never loved you. You can't have a real fan base or a real group of people who support and love you if they're leftist and woke, because their entire ideology is based around eating their own, taking people down, destroying. It's not love. It's not creation. It's destruction. It's, it's non-human. It's demonic, right? I mean, we all know that. But I just can't believe that y'all want to build this bitch up, Miss Dylan Mulvaney, so much, and then because she's not talking about bitches in the Congo. I mean, it's like an SNL skit. It's like, okay, Dylan Mulvaney, you're cool and all, but what about the women in the Congo? Like, oh my God. Lefties will build you up and tell you you're beautiful and amazing, but then you slip on a Wednesday and forget not to include conversations about people in Palestine and or the Congo, and you're out. You're out. That's not love, baby. That's not a real fan base. That's not a real audience. And I've always had this, approach to building an audience that I feel like has worked for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm 8 years in the game. Cult fan base, I feel. My fan base is a cult fan base. They're loyal as hell. And part of that is because just as important as building an audience is, alienating an audience is very important. I don't want woke ass to turn on me because on a Wednesday I forget to be inclusive of the Congo to cancel me. If you're that type of person, I don't want you in my fan base. I don't want you following me. I don't want you watching me. I don't want your support because it's not real. It's weird and conditional, and I guess it all should be conditional on a big enough scale. Obviously, you can't just do anything you want and keep your supporters. But I'm sorry, if on a Wednesday I don't talk about the fucking Congo, I don't need to be waking up to the whole world's turning on me. That's crazy. It actually makes me feel a bit bad for Dylan, but not really, because Dylan bred this type of audience. So reap what you sow.
It's always crazy to me when I see straight white guys between the ages of 18 and 29, like myself, supporting Donald Trump, because Do you guys not realize how bad a Trump victory would be for you? Does that not...
I know. I know this little boy sitting up here in his favorite MAC blush, right? That baby pink, that soft petal pink, right? Pussycat pink. I know this little boy did not just sit up here with that on and say, I am straight. It didn't even look like he believed it. I mean, for you to have to say, like myself. Like myself. You just had to make sure you're included in that, you know, roundup of straight men, right? Baby boy, it's okay. Live your truth. This little boy is fruitier than a farmer's market. This little boy is fruitier than a fruit basket. Oh my God. And how exactly would it be an L for straight, let me try not to laugh now, for straight white males of your age group? I mean, y'all are the ones going to get drafted if Trump doesn't win. Y'all are the ones, not you, not you, sis, but, you know, in general, straight white males of that age range are the ones boots on the ground in World War III if Biden wins. And that can sound hyperbolic, but you know what isn't hyperbolic is the only president in my lifetime for no new wars, Trump. Donald Trump. And so for me, that is the only thing I will be voting on in November, right? You know, I would still be voting for Trump if we weren't at war. And I thought that our chances of getting out of wars wasn't, you know, there as well. But considering we do live in this time where, you know, World War III is imminent, right? The sun setting forever on all of us is imminent, right? Like, considering that situation, I personally feel like straight white males between 18 and 29 or of any age group or any demographic are dumb as fuck. If you think that you have a better chance of not going to war under Trump, that is the only thing I will be voting on in November. And I encourage everyone to vote for the candidate that is the least likely to get us into another war or to, you know, exacerbate the wars we are currently in. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about climate change. Don't care. I don't care about trans rights. Don't care. When it's wartime, baby, don't care. And sister, you're lucky that you wouldn't meet those requirements to have to be drafted, but you try to gaslight straight white males, like literally the drafting age. He literally, 18 to 29, that's like the literal drafting age. Like, for you to try to gaslight that group of people into thinking that it is somehow a smarter decision to vote for the candidate that's going to send them to their death, that's a bit foul. That's a bit foul, and you're a bit dumb.
This is definitely fruity.
So, as a fat person, I often dread medical appointments because of blatant medical fat phobia. The last OB appointment I went to, the provider blamed everything on my weight and told me that I needed to go on a medication that made me feel really terrible. This OB appointment that I just went to, I've been dreading, and the provider was amazing. She asked me what my pronouns are. She asked me about my name. She made me feel super comfortable, asked me about my trauma history so that she knew how to touch me in ways that were not...
I'm like getting emotional over this one. This is very sad. This is, I know the segment is usually or always, right, like dunking on people, making fun of them, but I don't have it in my heart to make fun of this person. This is really sad, and you can see the brokenness, you can see the misery, you can see that it is easier for this person to believe the lie of fat phobia, of you know, the erasure of reality, of health. Like, they've erased the reality of health in order to keep her sick. She's been under attack. We're all under attack. And this is, you know, she's alive, and I wish everything the best for her. Please get it together, get your health together. I hope that for you. I want that for you. But this is a casualty of that ideology taking over and lying to people. And this is why sometimes when y'all want to be so nice, I get it. I'm a bitch. I come up on this podcast and I have some choice words for people and for concepts and for ideologies, but it is way more evil to smile in this woman's face and tell her the problem is fat phobia and fat bias from doctors rather than her being clinically obese and on the verge of death. Y'all are some sick motherfuckers for that. In fact, you're going to hell for that. If a hell exists, you have at least a 2-month stay in there. You may not be there for all eternity, but that toxic positivity, right? That toxic affirmation. Sometimes kindness can be toxic. And when you lie to someone and tell them, yeah, the problem's not that you're on your deathbed because you're clinically obese. The problem is the doctors are being rude about it. I mean, it's sad. And it's sad that there are millions of people like this. And I am sending all the love and positivity that I can towards this person. This person's life is intentional by the powers that be that have poisoned people. And this is why I get on, like, sometimes people, and I've probably fallen victim to this too, you know, being really strong-headed about, like, it's just all about your choices and why don't you just work out and eat right and calories in, calories out. And there's some big truths to that. Personal responsibility is huge, but I think people really underestimate, and there will be some studies hopefully in a future that makes sense about this time, these last couple decades, about how there's been an intentional poisoning of our people. The food is not the same. The way we are told to live life, staying indoors, no sunlight, the way that we're lied to about what's healthy. The food pyramid was a lie. They lied about the food pyramid. That thing they taught us in school, this is how you eat healthy, was a lie. The food pyramid was bought.
That was just the degree to which that's a scam is, I don't know, is there a worse medical crime in history than that?
No, I mean, telling Americans to load up on 7 to 11 servings of grains every single day.
Yeah.
Like,
and to find out that was a marketing ploy by the Department of Agriculture and that they went against the advice even of their own consultants who warned them that they would produce an epidemic of obesity and diabetes, which is, well, and not to say nothing of depression and dementia, which is exactly what we have now.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know what you even do when you find out that that's true.
Yeah, and the unwarranted demonization of natural fat-containing foods, nutrient-dense foods like animal source foods, which continue to be demonized
by food companies that wanted certain foods on there. Look it up. There's a personal responsibility for this person and for everyone to not be clinically obese and have your health at risk. However, I think sometimes we understate how much people are being poisoned and how much that poison disproportionately affects certain people. Because this type of person has never existed in society until now. And, you know, people change, but not that much. But the shit they do to the food, the way they treat the animals in the factory farms, the hormones, it's a lot going on. And it's hurting people. And I feel so bad for this woman. And to top it off, like, they're poisoning her, making her sick with the food they give her, with not only addictive qualities, but horrible ingredients, like not real food, literally not real food. The shit doesn't even decay anymore. Food doesn't spoil anymore, right? And then after that, when they're sick, they give them the other psyop, which is, oh, nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. And then you sheeple ass bitches on the ground level, everyday citizens who just want to be nice. You fall right in line too and repeat that lie. And you're also part of the problem. There's some personal responsibility if you stop lying to people. And that has all to do with being mean to people. That has all to do with walking around telling someone they're fat unsolicited. That has to do with people in her life allowing her to believe that the real issue in her life is transphobic doctors or fatphobic doctors. Sorry, this one just made me mad because seeing a person like this is very sad. Like, I feel a lot of empathy for this person.
Hi there. You can either respect my trans homies or I can identify as a problem. And if I catch your Just being disrespectful, your pronouns are going to be was, were. Thank you for coming and have a nice...
Well, I'm shook. Guess I'll back off then. Now that this fake hard bitch has spoken, I'm done. I retire. This bitch reminds me of that white female Canadian rapper on TikTok.
My mama made me this headband. From what I understand, your mama made you. What the f***ing dodo?
It's giving a they-them version of her. And, girl, I mean, I feel sufficiently ran off the internet here. So I'm going to definitely sign off and say that I love you, Blaire White Army, and Blaire White Army only. No love for y'all that are too scared to admit that you're fans. I mean, shout out to the fans that have kept this ship afloat for all the years, but I know it's not just them clicking. It's all the little ops too. The ops are checking in every time. And let me not get off a tangent. We love the ops. We love the haters. Love all of y'all. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast channel as well as my main channel. Follow me on X and Instagram. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, all that nonsense listed in the description. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.